And good morning, welcome. It's Martin, Jeff, and the Farmchick coming to you high atop the Eagle Building in beautiful downtown Goodland. Our show's being brought to you by Eklund's First Insurance, Northwest Tech, the insurance agency, the Goodland Sonic Drive-In, and did I say Northwest? Elliott's Home Furnishings. Don't want to forget Mike Elliott there. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special show for you this week. We're going to talk with the members of the Sherman County Community Foundation and their Match Month and Match Day promotion that is going on. So on my right is Chris Yost from the Community Foundation. Morning, Chris.
Good morning, Marty.
On my left, it's Cora House. I was going to call you Jeff here for a minute, but Jeff's on the right, so I got this all backwards. So, morning,
Good morning. Cora. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
And as usual, I'm in the middle, only as the questioning host here this morning. It's an interesting program that you've got going on, and a very important organization for our community in Northwest Kansas. But let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about the Sherman County Foundation. How long is it? Have you been in place? And what is it? What do you do?
The Sherman County Community Foundation was actually established back in 2001, but in 2013 we kind of revamped it, and we became an affiliate of the Greater Northwest Kansas Community Foundation out of Bird City. And we are here just to kind of support the local philanthropic endeavors of Sherman County. We're here to do whatever we can for the community.
Philanthropic meaning giving money to organizations that are in need, obviously?
Yes, we are supporting the local 501c3 organizations, government agencies, churches, anybody that needs some assistance that we can, write a grant for. How do you,
and maybe that's what we're going to talk about with the Match Month, but where do you get the funding to give to the people, to the folks?
Right now, the last couple of years, we've been blessed with funds from the Dane Hansen Community Foundation. We've been given $200,000 over the last 2 years that we've been able to grant out, and those are the funds that we've been using to help the community right now.
You're connected. We talked about the Bird City Foundation, which I'm familiar with. I do some work in Bird City, but are there other communities that are all connected to the overall Northwest Kansas?
There are. Yeah. There's 12 community foundations under the umbrella of the Greater Northwest Kansas Community Foundations. And so we work not with each other, but it's a great organization to be connected with.
So is there an overall managing board for everybody? I mean, how the manages how the money is invested or collected or anything like that?
No, we really have free choice of how our money is invested, and now we're going to be working on trying to raise some money because we can't, we don't know if Dane Hansen is going to provide money every year for us to grant out, and that's what we've been granting out these past 2 years. And they do, Bird City does help us with our bookkeeping. That's one reason that we went with them, was because there's a lot of bookkeeping in this kind of operation.
Dane Hansen, it seems like, has been around for a long, long time. It's kind of unimaginable that they might be run out of money or go away someday.
I think Mr. Hansen died in 1965. I'm not sure that date. I read the book about him, but he was an amazing man and left a legacy that his 26 counties that he has endowed, that he worked in, then we get money, and this is where our Match Month money is coming from, is Dane Hansen Foundation said, all these 26 counties, if you go out and raise $50,000 in your county, we'll give you $50,000. And so we're going to try, this month of November is our Match Month, and so we're going to try to raise $50,000 in Sherman County, and we're not giving a big party or anything like that. The board members are just going to be calling upon people and saying we're going to be handing out some brochures saying this is what we do, this is what we've done in the past, and we need to raise some money, and that'll give us $100,000 that we can put in our bank account, and then, you know, hopefully we just keep growing and growing and have a future. That's what we're looking at, is in 20 years we want this foundation to be going, you know, after I'm off the board and after Chris is off the board, and we want it to be strong and viable in Sherman County.
Now, let's talk about some of the recipients of some of the foundation money. I see on the flyer, your match day flyer, I see the Chambers Park Pavilion. You got a whole list right there. So everybody from the Goodland Activity Center, the Arts Council, schools, booster clubs have received, they call them grants from the foundation, right?
Yes, the grants, they have to go to our website and they apply for a grant. And then we receive those once a month and we review them. Our board does, and then and there's certain perimeters that we have to work within. We cannot have any labor. It's volunteerism is what we're trying to promote. And so we have done, like Chris said, $200,000 in the past 2 years that we have granted out.
Do those who have received the grants, do they come to you, or are you seeking them out? Obviously, you probably don't know what everybody's needs are, but you have an application type process for organizations to apply for.
They do. They go to our website, and there's an application for them to fill out, and they have to lay out the parameters of what they're wanting to do. One of the questions on there is if they're a 501c3, they have to show us what their budget is, what they're expected to pay for. And they just kind of give us a description of the project. If there's labor involved, how are they going to do it? Is it going to be volunteer, or are they paying somebody to do it? I can't think of what else is even on there.
Well, it's interesting, some of the recipients, it's not every time actual physical equipment or whatever. I see, you've given to the high school career fair, mm-hmm. and I saw another one on there that wasn't an actual thing. It was a program or something.
Well, and one of my favorite ones that we did this last summer was the Art Center did the art walk down on Main Street, right. And we sponsored that project, and that was a lot of fun that evening.
Let's just throw out some of the celebrating the 130 years of Sherman County. That was a great promotion that's been going on for about a year now, and equipment for the activity center, bumper cars at the fair, Sherman County Community Service Organization. That's where I was getting kind of confused. Where it's a different organization, right?
Yes.
Black and Gold Booster Club were purchased wrestling clocks and timers, courtesy of the foundation, help of the fair. Lots of things at the fair, it looks like.
We have helped with the fair because they're totally all volunteer. They don't have any payroll of any kind. They don't pay anybody. It's all volunteerism, and that's what we're after, is trying to get people out to help our community, to build our community, make it stronger. We've done some playground equipment at Smoky Gardens. I was down there the other day with the scenic byway and walking around looking, and it's wonderful down there. It's nice to have some playground equipment down there. And then we helped the city with the park pavilions over there in Chambers Park.
I was going to mention that, again, a picture in your flyer. I think that's one of the most outstanding things I've seen done here in recent years. It kind of gives a little more life to that park over there that a lot of people maybe don't think about as a choice, and now they've got a covered pavilions for family gatherings. I know there were a lot of people there for reunion parties and mm-hmm. gatherings and stuff. So
yeah, it really looks nice. It really changed the look of that park, and I was over there the other day. I kept driving around the whole place when they were doing it. I'd drive around the park and say, okay, they've got this done. And it was really fun to watch that because, we have a beautiful fountain over there. And then we have the covered, pavilions. And now, for family reunions or for the farmers market and I noticed they were redoing the horseshoe and putting up some lights over there, some pretty light poles, and it's really going to look nice over there. I keep driving around it just thinking how nice it looks over there. Mm-hmm. It's going to change it a lot.
Another noticeable now landmark that I think is a great addition to the community is Tristan Cooper's gazebo at the library. Mm-hmm. A nice little addition there. The library's kind of got a little park area there that on the south side that really adds to that really well. Somebody was asking about the nativity scenes, if they're going to go up this year, and you guys have helped with that apparently too. You're smiling.
We have helped with that, and we've in the last couple of years we've kind of been the organization that has been responsible for that. And we've just unfortunately come to the conclusion that it's more than what our board can handle. So if there's another organization out there that would kind of like to take that under their wings and be responsible for that, it would be great.
You're talking about from putting it up and everything?
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And it's a great, my family drives around it every year at Christmas time, but for our board, and in the last couple of years, we've had the junior class at the high school, and their parents help us put that up. But it's more than what we can handle.
So here's a good place to throw that out to the community. Probably for this year, you're going to need somebody to do that, right?
Yes. So if anybody is willing to work on that nativity scene, give us a call.
Because I don't know that it'll be put up this year unless somebody does step forward and because that's a lot of work, and it's very cold out there usually when we're doing it.
Several years ago, I helped, I think, a couple of seasons with the electricity, laying out the cords and so forth. And you're right. It's worse, I think, taking it down because it's after the holidays. It's a little colder,
It's frozen into the ground at that point.
Yes, it is.
One of my favorite places in town, the Goodland Public Library. Looks like you gave them a grant for new lighting, and and another. I noticed the new chairs at the dining room at the hospital.
Yep.
That you donated to the auxiliary, which is another great organization. That we just did an interview with Jan up there, and so
she does a great job in the little store up there. She does really have so many pretty things, and it's fun to see the new chairs in there, and we try to help as much as we can, and we tell people to write a grant. We have 2 grants in front of us this month and that we'll look at, and the library was one that we just did last month, and I know the lights haven't been put in. I know they had a little bit of a problem with the lighting there one day, and they're looking to put in all new LED lights, and I think that'll be super for the library.
Mm-hmm. What kind of scrutiny do you consider when you're selecting somebody? I mean, is it obviously the organization has to show why they can't do it themselves, right?
Well, and I think the funding, you see a lot of school projects, and, everybody needs money right now because everybody's cut back so much, and we like to see a lot of volunteerism on it. We like to see something that involves a lot of people, and then looking at their budget, we stress one of the main things is, can you buy it in Goodland, Kansas, or Sherman County? If you can buy it here, we want it bought here and not ordered from a catalog someplace. If you can buy it in Sherman County, let's spend our money in Sherman County. This is where our money is coming from, and that's one of the main things we we try to emphasize when we're going through these grants. And we've asked people a couple times that, why don't you ask somebody in Sherman County to do this instead of, someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
And another aspect we look at is just how many people it's going to impact, kind of the bang for our buck, too. And that's why you see a lot of the fair in the school, because we know that, in the GAC, because we know that it's affecting a lot of people by supporting those organizations.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about match day and match month a little more specifically. How does this work? What is the process here? Explain.
Let's go to match day first.
Okay. Match day is going to be on November 29th of this year. It's the National Giving Tuesday, so it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. We are going to be at the library from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you bring in, so Marty, if you would bring in a donation for $50 to the museum, we match that $50, and your donation would now be $100. That's going back to the museum. We have $10,000 at this point that we have set aside that we're going to match up to, and if we get more than that, we'll prorate it. I hope we have to get into the prorating. I hope it's that successful.
Mm-hmm. So, in other words, the day could end up being a $20,000 day with the $10,000 donations that would hopefully come in.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I would love it.
Wow.
I would love it if it's a $30,000 or $40,000 day.
That would give so much to the 501s, the nonprofits in town. We have a list of those. Do you want to read them?
Yeah, so there's 24 different organizations that we're going to be matching funds for that day. It's the GAC, Black and Gold Booster Club, Goodland Arts Council, Sherman County Historical Society, the Alumni Association, the Goodland Senior Center, as well as the Canarado Senior Center, our community senior center, the Canarado Museum, as well as our High Plains Museum, Sherman County Community Services, which is the Carnival, Genesis, Northwest Kansas Animal Shelter, Smoky Gardens, Goodland Public Library, the Sherman County 4-H Clubs, Northwest Kansas EMS, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, Goodland Youth Football Club, Sherman County Fire and Rescue, Goodland Church's Thrift Shop, Daughters of the American Revolution, and Northwest Kansas District Free Fair and Leadership Sherman County. So individual or citizens out there, say they're a fan of the High Plains Museum, I want to, like you just said, bring in $50, $100, so they can target their specific organization that they're after, as long as they're on that list. Yes,
right?
If they're on this list, and we'll have a list for them or a form for them to fill out that day on the 29th when you bring in your check. So if you have 5 or 6 of these organizations that you want to give funds to, you can mark it on that form, the dollar amount that you want to go to each one, and then we'll match it. The checks that day, in order for us to match them, have to be made out to Sherman County Community Foundation. They're not going to be made out to the individual organizations. And then at the halftime of a basketball game in December or January, we're going to present all these organizations with their checks.
All right, cool. Now, how does that differ from match month?
Match month is how we're going to fund all these fun things that we do, all these grants and all this match day. We're going to ask the citizens of Sherman County to try to give what they can. And I know times are tough. The farming is very tough right now. But we're asking, I think we can raise $50,000, and that'll give us $100,000. Dane Hansen Foundation will match our $50,000. And so what we're doing is all month of November, and we're calling on people. We're trying to get as much publicity out there as we can. So if you hear this and you haven't been called and you would like to give some money to the foundation, the check needs to be made out to the Sherman County Community Foundation and dated in November. And the post office box is 888 Goodland, Kansas. And I would be glad to come see you, to pick up a check. If you want to talk to somebody, I'd be glad to have you call me. Cora House, just call me. I'll talk to you. I'll come over And I think that this is a great opportunity to grow our county, our foundation, and make it strong.
Now, the dollars that people give to you for this match month campaign, are they tax deductible?
Yes, they are.
Obviously?
We're a 501c3, so you will get a receipt. We'll send you a receipt to take to your accountant.
And this is the time of the year when a lot of people look at their financial situation, and so perhaps include this just seems like a great place to go with money for the community, because it's includes a lot of people, obviously, a lot of organizations. So if you're thinking about donating something to the community, maybe give that to the foundation, and let's give it to many in the community, right?
And that's, I mean, if you donate money to the match month to Sherman County Community Foundation, your money is being spent here in Sherman County. It's not going to leave Sherman County. It's going to benefit our life here, and hopefully for a long time to come as well.
Let's talk a little bit about your board. In addition to you, Cora, and Chris, tell us who else is on your local Sherman County Foundation Board of Directors.
Well, we have Jeff Bent, Adam Dees, April Hall, myself, Cora House, Dale Shields, Ron Schilling, Megan Thomas, and Chris Yost.
And how do you get on the board? Is it a position you serve for a period of time and then somebody else comes on, or is it for life?
You're on it for life. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dear.
Cora doesn't know that yet. No, we serve 3 year. We can serve three-year terms. So if you're on the board and you're happy with being on the board, you can serve for 9 years if you want to.
And you meet on a monthly basis?
We do. We meet the third Wednesday of every month at Gambino's over lunch at 11:30.
I know at least one person on there who contributes to this radio show on a regular basis kind of tipped me off to this, and Ron Schilling, does he do a good job for you? I mean, do you tolerate him?
He does.
Well?
He's tough to keep under control, but I think we do a pretty good job.
He's the one that coined the bang for the buck.
Yeah.
What bang for the buck do we get in this project?
He's coined a lot of phrases over the years. He could write a book. I think he is going to write a book.
He should.
Yeah.
He should.
So I'm glad to hear there's some good people on your board, and so let's review one more time. Let's talk about Match Day again. That is November 29th at the Public Library, Goodland Library.
Yep.
Starting at 7 a.m. Bring in your donation for your specific choice on the list.
Yes.
And then the match month continues through the month of November. And they just will mail you a donation, or should they give you a call first? Or
Either way. We're going around and trying to contact people, but I know we won't touch everybody. I mean, I realize that, but if you hear this, if you see something, if you'd like to give a donation, you can mail it. You can call one of the board members. We'd be glad to come over and talk to you, or meet you someplace, or, because we're hoping to build this foundation. So, maybe in 20 years, we'll have different people on the board that they're still giving out grants to the school and to Smoky Gardens and to the Art Walk, or to the after school singers. That's a great program, the after school vocal program. And, hopefully in 20, 30, 40 years that we can build this, and this is something that Goodland and Sherman County can be proud of.
very good. Sounds like a wonderful program for this month. It's Match Month and Match Day on November 29th. Sherman County Community Foundation. Chris and Cora, thanks for coming in today and visiting with us here on the show. And we'll encourage everybody to be there on the 29th.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Our show is brought to you by Eklund's First Insurance, Elliott's Home Furnishings, Northwest Tech, Goodland Sonic Drive-In, and The Insurance Agency here on Eagle Cable Channel 10, KLOE AM Radio, and World Wide Web, streaming from our Facebook page for Martin, Jeff, and the Farm Chick. And hopefully we'll be back with the two kids next week here on Eagle Cable Channel 10 and KLOE AM Radio. Have a great week, everybody.